Hello and welcome to Beyond Umzinto with myself, Anuti. So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please make sure that you do subscribe and turn on your notification button so that you can keep in tune with what's happening and all the videos being uploaded, and also share with your loved ones or anyone who you know who may wish to travel with me. So today we are talking things that I think you need to know before taking or embarking on a journey to Dubai. So without any further delays, I'm going to get right into it so we don't waste any time. So one of the things that I think is worth considering, I don't think it's particularly a big deal when you are going to the UAE, but I think it's important. Well, it is important for me because I'm a bit fussy with weather and being cold, and I also like doing a lot of outdoor activities and water type activities, so it definitely does matter for me. So I would say the time of year is important. So so if you are wanting to experience the cold in the desert, then December, January is your time to go to the UAE. Otherwise, the hot or summer months is between end of May to say end of October, beginning of end of September. So yeah, that is the time where you would experience the maximum amount of heat. My favorite time to travel there is between say March to April, because I find that the afternoons the temperature drops quite significantly and it cools down a lot, and then during the day I can still do some summer type activities without feeling like I'm in a winter or autumn type environment. But otherwise, any time is actually, you would still have fun in the UAE. They are also a Muslim country, so I think if you are also traveling during Ramadan or the Hajj period, then perhaps that's also worth considering, especially in terms of when things open. So you might be affected by those things, but I don't know how big a deal it is, and it's perhaps worth looking into for yourself. But for me, it's something that I've never really paid much attention to, but I've also never been to the UAE during Ramadan or Hajj period. And then the other thing that I think is worth knowing is that as a South African citizen, you do require a visa to travel to the UAE. The visa process is quite simple. You need to apply online and it basically gets emailed to you, and it's a document, it's a one-page document that you print and you travel with you, and you will obviously submit it or show it wherever you need to show it. There are other types of visas, so you can apply for a visa on arrival if you are taking or if you are planning on a short experience. Maybe you connecting between two destinations and you're wanting to just be there for say 48 hours or 98 hours or whatever. You can apply for a visa on arrival for those things as a South African citizen. So make sure that you have your visa with you before you go, and that you give yourself at least a week to apply for your visa, and then you will get it and then you're good to go. It's not a hassle to get the UAE visa. I've personally never had any issues with it. Then the third thing that I want to talk about is the public transport system. So every time that I have been there, we have hired a car. We find hiring a car very convenient because we like experimenting with things. We don't generally plan like day-to-day activities. We're very spontaneous, and like if we were planning on driving to a certain place and then we see something else, we will definitely stop and explore what's there. So hiring a car is very convenient for us. And then in terms of cost of hiring a car, I found that the day rate, say for a group vehicle for example, the day rate that you would pay in South Africa versus the day rates that you would pay in Dubai is very comparable. It's not too different. so you don't feel like you're paying a lot more in Dubai. The only thing that I think you should be mindful of is insurance. Just make sure that you take comprehensive car insurance when you're hiring your car. And maybe the other thing to consider is that they drive on the opposite side as we drive in South Africa, or to what way we drive in South Africa. So maybe that may pose some difficulties for you. Then you may want to think about how comfortable you are with that. And then your normal driver's license that you have in South Africa. So if you are going to the UAE and you'll be spending your time there for less than 3 months, then it doesn't, you can use your South African driver's license and it won't matter. But if you are staying for more than 3 months, then you will need to have your international driver's license, which you would have to do before you leave. If you want to, you can actually also do it on the other side. But I think you know South Africa and it might be easier for you to do it here. They do have other forms of public transport. So they do have Uber, which I thought was a little bit more expensive. Especially considering that you will be going from one place to the other and then catching it again from another place to the other. And also you are wanting, it's something that you driving around, if I may put it that, or getting around would be something that you are there to do. So it might not be too bad to pay it for it per trip, but when you look at the overall stay and the amount of trips that you will take, it works up to a lot more than hiring a car. In terms of maybe petrol price when hiring a car, it's not too different in terms of price per liter, so you won't feel like you're spending a lot more on petrol. And then also they do have a metro rail system, and I found the train to be very affordable and very efficient. So if they say, it's very much like the Gau train, so if they are saying that a train will arrive in 5 minutes, it will arrive in 5 minutes. We didn't have any issues with that. The only small issue that I had with it was the walking distances. So to walk from where the train station is to, say, the mall was a lot of walking, and that time we traveled with kids, and it was it was a bit of a walk, and that I didn't enjoy. But otherwise, I highly recommend. Then the other thing I want to talk about is travel insurance. If you remember in the past video, I spoke about travel insurance and health insurance. So Dubai was one of the destinations, or the only destination the first time that we went there, where we went without health insurance, and we were in a situation where we needed medical assistance, and to pay a day rate in a private hospital was very expensive. So I highly recommend that you really have medical insurance when you travel to Dubai. Then there's the issue of alcohol. If you are into alcohol and you're liking the finer things in terms of alcohol, the more expensive alcohol, unlike here in South Africa, where you've got Tops at Spa and you've got Checkers liquor, I mean, there's a liquor shop everywhere. You don't have the luxury of that in Dubai. There's certain shops that they have, and yeah, it's difficult to find it. And also, you will only get access to alcohol maybe in the hotel that you're staying in or the resort. So my recommendation is that try and get or stock up on the things that you think you will need at duty free in South Africa. But if you maybe didn't get an opportunity to get it here, then maybe get it at duty free in the Dubai airport when you get there. But that will really help in minimizing costs on the other side. Then the issue of SIM cards, if you remember, if you are traveling in a group and you think that you will need to be connected with your friends that you're traveling with, and you will need a SIM card, get it at the airport. It was very difficult for us to get SIM cards outside of the airport. So once you leave the airport and you're going to like a normal Atisalat, for example, or whatever airline, not airline, shop that you need to get your SIM card, it was very hard as a non-resident, as a foreigner who is there on a short-term visa to get your SIM card. So even if there's a queue, just be patient and get everything you need at the airport. The other thing that I think is worth considering, and it really does work for us, if you're traveling perhaps with like a spouse or one or two friends, maybe it's not such a big thing for you. But if you are traveling with a family, consider looking at hotel apartments versus just normal hotels. I find that the normal hotels are very expensive, and very cramped. Even if it's like your usual international brands like your West End and your Radisson or whatever the brands are, it's literally a single room. And then if you are traveling with kids, then you get the adjoining rooms. So I prefer hotel apartments because it's like 2 bedrooms or 3 bedroom apartments, and then it's got a lounge and a kitchen, and it's quite spacious because you have suitcases with you, you've got small kids, and for me they always work out cheaper, and I think it's something that is worth considering. Then maybe the last thing that I just need to add on to the Dubai thing is the exchange rate or the currency. So currency is called the dirham, and it is 4 times the rand. So in terms of financial planning, it's something that you really need to think about. If you are into that, it depends also. A lot of people go to Dubai to shop. I am not one of those people. I do shop every now and then, but I don't bulk shop. So if you are one of those people that are wanting to bulk shop, and you must just know how much you're spending, and perhaps there's a lot more financial planning that needs to go on in your part, and perhaps you are one of those people that needs to explore that option of converting your money into foreign currency before you leave, rather than swiping your card everywhere. So let me know if there's anything else that you feel I left out or you want me to talk more about regarding Dubai. But other than that, that's all that I want to share for today. So goodbye until the next time. Bye.